You want to turn your light on?
Yeah, sure.
There it is.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Not that I feel like I want it shining in my face.
Do you want a blind?
Okay, so the question Landon just asked was, how do you know if something is metaphorical or if it's like legit, like concrete, right? And I think, so again, my perception of the Revelation is that we've been given this to help us understand, right? Jesus, if you look at, go back to Revelation 1, and it says, Revelation 1:1, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave to him to show unto his servants the things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent it and signified it by his angel to his servant John, who bare record of the word of God and the testimony of Jesus Christ and of all things that he saw. Blessed is he that reads it, and those that hear the words of the prophecy, and they keep those things which are written herein, for the time is at hand. And that, again, I told you that day that verse can also be, for the time when it begins will happen rapidly, right? So that first piece, that verse 1, it says that he gave it to him to show his servants the things which must shortly come to pass. I see the book of the Revelation as a whole series of patterns. It's like we're not going to know what these things are until we see them. We're going to see it and we're going to go, oh, I know where that's at. That's Revelation 6, because I just saw it. You know, the fourth horseman of the apocalypse happens, and the entire North American continent is affected by famine, by plague, famine, sword, death experiences that are unfounded, a plague of death, and wild animals are attacking people and destroying people. We see that happen, we're going to be like, that's the fourth horseman, right? So, like in that case, it's easy, I believe, to see those things, because it says that there was plague, pestilence, a plague of death, that animals were attacking people and eating them, right? Which means food is scarce, right? So those are things that are concrete that we can watch for and actually see them, because we know they must be legit. That just totally makes sense, right? But then you've got locusts that have the hair of women and the face of men and teeth like lions and the tails of scorpions. So how do we know if that's real or if it's symbolic, right? We know that that's what John saw. We know that he saw these creatures, and he describes them to us. And he saw them come out of the bottomless pit, right? So we know what he saw, but we don't necessarily know what they really are. Are they legitimately when we see them, we'll be like, holy smokes, John really did a good job explaining it. That's one of the mud ugliest things I've ever seen in my life, and I'm staying inside, right? Is that what we're going to say? Probably, because whether it was created by God for the purpose of punishing humanity, or whether it was created by man and stored in this place called the bottomless pit, that's theoretically possible. I don't think that's the case. I truly don't believe that it's man-made. I believe it really is otherworldly. What we do know is that there is some kind of an existence, some kind of a creature that will have some kind of an effect. Like if that's a pattern, we know that pattern will be in large number. It will have the ability to do something to mankind, and people will suffer for a period of 5 months. We may not know if it's exactly what he said, what it really is, how it was made, or any of that, but we know that the theme that we're watching for is creature bad, creature hurt, creature make people go ouch, and creature make people stay inside, right? That's what we know. And so when we see those things happen, we're like, that probably is what John was talking about. And we're going to be like, John, you got it, brother. Or we're going to be like, whoa, that wasn't at all what I thought. Hair like women, I didn't know that it was going to be like ponytails. I figured it was going to be like, free-flowing hair, right? We don't know how the hair like women was. I mean, you got women in the room right now. Everybody's got their hair differently. Who knows? Maybe these creatures have extensions. I don't know, right? So the whole point of, I guess, what I'm saying is that the pattern will be, we know that, because that's what, there wouldn't be any other reason for the Lord to give it to us. It says that He gave it to us so that we would know those things which were going to come to pass. The intent of the book of the Revelation is to educate us so that we know what to watch for. Whether it's exactly what we think or not is up for grabs, but we know the pattern to watch for, right? We know the image to watch for. So, great question. In some cases, like with the fourth horseman, I think it's legit. I think it's death, famine, plague, beasts of the field. I think that we can expect that exactly the way it is. The locusts, we're going to have to watch and see what they really look like and what they are when they show up, if we're here for it. So, yeah, great. Anybody else have questions? That was a great question. One that I've actually wrestled with myself. I've had to think through, if you can't tell.
Are all of the seals and the trumpets to come, or could some of them be things of the past?
Are all the seals and the trumpets to come, or could some of them be in the past? That's a good question. Let's think about this. I think it's possible that some of them could be in the past. Like, we've had false Christs. Like when you look at Matthew 24 and you compare it to the seven seals, right? There was a white horse, and he that sat on it was given a bow, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And Matthew 24, Jesus says, "Watch out for false prophets." We know that those, as you compare Matthew 24 4 through 14 and Revelation 4, 5, and 6, and you look at the seals that are happening and what's happening there, we see that they parallel each other. So I think it's very possible in our day and age that the false prophets have already come, that they've already started. Remember that the horse starts at the gate and takes off running. It doesn't stop running, it just keeps going, right? So once the false prophets start, they just keep going, right? Once the wars and rumors of wars start, they keep going. Once the famine begins, it starts and keeps going. I was out for a walk the other day, and I heard the Lord say the famines are coming. Just out of the blue, I heard the Lord say the famines are coming. I'm like, famines, plural. I thought that's interesting. I hadn't thought of it. I thought of it as famine, not famines. So I'm watching now, because I really believe that the Lord told me that when I was out praying the other day. And so I think we're going to probably start seeing stuff pretty soon. That's just me. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that the Lord wouldn't say it otherwise, right? So, be thinking. God gave us these things so that we could be prepared. That's what it says in Revelation 1. It says that He gave us these things to show His servants with those things which must shortly come to pass. Blessed is he that reads, and those that hear the prophecy and keep those things that are written therein. In other words, we take a hold of them and we grab a hold of them. We don't let go. We keep them. We tend them, right? If we know that there's going to be famine, we should be good stewards and we should be putting some food away. It's not just for the Revelation. It's for anything. Again, we go back to the whole thing. Y2K was one of the best things that ever happened in my life. Hands down. Because it opened my eyes for me to see how dependent I was on my culture. Prior to that, I did not realize what would happen if I had to go for a week and there was no food in the grocery store. What will we do? And I looked at my house and I just started asking myself some theoretical questions. What happens if there's a major circumstance? Food for a month. We can't get shipping in because something major happens. It's impossible to get shipping in. And we go for a month and the grocery stores don't get shipments for a month. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive? It's a good question to ask yourself. How about 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year? Ask the question. Wrestle with it.